Hello everybody, welcome to this Verbling class. My name's Teacher Amy and today's class is called Surprising Stuff About How Our Brains Work. We're actually going to be reading kind of an interesting article about things that you may not have realized about your brain, such as the fact that we're more creative when we're tired. Maybe you've never known those strange things about your brain before, who knows. But it's a good chance to practice our reading and to find out some interesting facts about the brain, which all is important to all of us, I guess, when we're learning a language. So do come along in and join us if you want to practice your reading, get your pronunciation a little bit better, and also learn some new vocabulary. It would be great to have you today. Do come on in and join us. And while we're waiting for the students, what I will do is just mention a couple of pages for you that can help you out with your time here on Verbling. The first one is your Facebook, and the second one is Verbling Teacher. So the Facebook page is a good way to keep in touch. If you're a Facebook fan, if you're part of Facebook and you like to check up on it frequently, then why not follow one or two of the teachers on there so that you can see their updates as you go through your day. If you want to find out some more specific information about Verbling teachers or about classes that are coming up or private tutoring schedule slots that are free, then do check out the Verbling teacher page, which you can find it there in the chat box. It's the second of the two links. And if you do have any questions about anything, do let us know via the messaging feature. So let's say hello to our students. Who do we have to join us to talk about our strange brains today? Amari, how are you doing?
Hey teacher, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. And you?
I'm great, Amari, thank you. Tell me something that's been happening in your life lately.
I discovered in a card, my credit card, I have a lot of money, and I didn't know about that. So I think it's a good news, in my opinion.
Excellent, Amari.
Yes. And today I was a lot of busy, but it's a normal day right now, and I will go to make. I will go to the shop to buy a lot of things to my house.
Okay, what kind of things do you need for your house, Amari?
Like food. I don't know. I don't know how can I say despensa in English.
To the supermarket? I'm not familiar with that word, actually. Yeah. No?
Yes, supermarket. Let me see. This.
A grocery store?
Let me see. Pantry?
The pantry. You have to fill your pantry.
Oh, yes.
Okay. In that case, you do have to go to the supermarket. Thanks, Raphael. Okay, well, it's great, Amari. I love going to the supermarket and filling up my pantry. But then you just eat way too much afterwards. That happens to me anyway. Never mind.
Okay.
And you can go after this class. Alright, it's nice to have you. Welcome. Okay, we'll try and go in order so I don't miss anybody out. So, Alex, hello.
Hello, how are you?
Good. Alex, I don't know if I can't see a picture and I can't recognize you. Have we met before?
It's because I have been like twice, 2 times, but I on my iPad now. I don't know why my picture is not there. So
no worries. Remind me, where are you from, Alex?
I am from Venezuela and live in Miami, Coral Springs, 45 minutes to the north. Yeah.
All right. It's hard for me to remember just by a voice and a name. So usually I rely on your picture. But welcome to the class, and tell me something that's been going on in your life recently.
Wow. So my wife started to work. I'm taking care of my kids now in the morning because I usually work during the night. It's a hard time for me now since 2 p.m. till 6 p.m. taking care of my kids. They are twins and they are 5 years old. You can imagine a lot of energy. But well, so I have to do it now. Maybe in maybe after a little time we are gonna put them in aftercare, so I'm gonna have more time to rest.
Okay.
So
But I'm sure they're enjoying it 100%, Alex. Time with their
yeah,
dad.
yes, we have a good time all every day, and they are in baseball. They play baseball. So today we
Cool.
were playing baseball in the afternoon. So also they are gonna start to play soccer in November. So they are very active. So but sometimes I'm tired.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I can completely understand that, Alex. Well, well done. And congratulations for looking after your two twins. I'm sure you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Welcome to the class. Alejandro, how are you? Are you there?
Hello, hello, teacher. I'm fine.
Hi. How's Spain today? How's it been? Have you done anything exciting?
Uh, Spain, as usual.
As usual, just its regular old self. All right, and what did you do today, Alejandro? Tell me a couple of things.
Mm, I was studying English
Hmm.
and not much.
Just a bit of this and a bit of that.
Yes,
All right, excellent. Well, welcome to the class.
thank you.
Alex, your photo has appeared. You look very happy in it.
Yeah, I found the picture. Finally.
Excellent. All right. Let's say hello to Alan. Hello, Alan.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Nice to see you again. How are you?
Nice to see you. I'm fine. How are you?
I'm well, thank you, Alan. What have you been doing today so far? Have you been studying all day?
Yes.
Very hard. Has
How
it been going well, or was it a tough day?
No, it was an easy day.
All right. Well, that's good news. And you're still going at it now, so well done. Welcome to the class.
Thank you.
Hussein, how are you?
Hello, I'm doing fine, thank you. How about you?
I'm great, thank you, Hussein. And it's been a while since I've seen you. How's everything been going?
Everything is going well. Yeah,
Good.
everything is just fine.
Good. And has your studying been going okay? Have you been making some progress?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Good. That's really great. All right. Well, welcome to the class, Hussein.
Thank you so much.
We have Johanny.
Johanny. Hello, teacher.
Johanny. Hello. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Where are you from?
I'm from Venezuela, but now I'm living in Colombia.
Okay. And why do you live in Colombia?
Because in Venezuela is difficult live, and I decided to move to another country.
And what do you think of it? Has it been a good decision, do you think?
Yes, it was a very good decision because here now my husband. I meet my husband.
Yeah, oh, so you've met your husband in Colombia?
Yes.
Woohoo!
It's another Venezuelan guy, but I meet him here.
Absolutely. Oh, that's great. Well, that's definitely a good reason to move countries.
Yes.
All right. Well, it's very nice that you've met a Venezuelan man who lives in Colombia too, because then if you ever want to go back to Venezuela, well, that will be handy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's nice to meet you, Johanny. And tell me, why are you studying English?
Because I need to learn English. It's important for my profession. Speak English, and in the present I have lots all good opportunities because I don't know how to speak English.
All right.
I want to speak.
You've missed out on some opportunities.
Yes, yes.
Right. Well, hopefully not any longer, because it sounds to me like your English is going well.
It's so difficult to me. It's not easy, but I'm going.
Good. That's great. I know. I really do understand. It's not easy, but just keep persevering, Johanny. You will get there.
Thank you.
Welcome to the class. Okay.
Thank you.
Oscar, hello.
Hello, Amy. How are you?
Oscar, you're very, very quiet. I can hardly hear you.
Hello?
I can hear you, but it's really quiet. Can you speak louder?
Okay.
That's better.
Okay.
All right. Well, welcome, Oscar. How is everything going? How is your life going? Tell me something that you did today.
I was work.
You worked?
Yes.
And anything else?
No.
All day at work. Oh, you poor thing.
In the week, Monday and Friday is every work.
Can you say that again, Oscar? I'm still finding it really hard to hear you because it's so quiet. Can you speak up a bit?
Okay.
And what did you say? Something about Monday and Friday. I didn't catch it.
Only work. Only work it.
On Monday and Friday?
Yes.
Ah, well that's good. What do you do on Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday?
No,
just relax?
Monday from Monday to Friday.
Okay, you work from Monday to Friday. So you have the weekend off?
Yes.
Okay, I've got it. That sounds more realistic, I have to say. What do you usually do at the weekend, Oscar?
The last week I watched the soccer game. The Real Madrid versus Barcelona. I gone to buy. I bought a new cell phone. And Sunday in the morning, I was run.
You went running?
Yes, running.
All right, excellent. That sounds like a good weekend. All right, Oscar. It's great to have you in the class today, and I can hear you much better now, so keep going on with that, okay?
Okay.
Welcome to the class. Raphael, how are you doing?
Hi, Amy. I'm fine. Thanks for asking. And you?
I've been keeping my eye on your conversation with Amari in the chat box. He says that you look tired. But I didn't quite catch it. Are you feeling tired?
So.
Not too bad.
Not too bad, but the will to learn is louder.
The will to learn is stronger than your fatigue. That's very good to know, Raphael. Okay. Well, it's great to have you. We're very glad that you're still awake and joining us in the class, as we are for Yuki, who is up in the middle of the night again. And he always blames me on his insomnia, which is so nice of him, right, Yuki?
Yes. You are right.
Oh, dear. Well, how are you? Apart from being tired, how are you, Yuki?
I can't grumble. Thank you. How it's going?
I can't grumble either.
Okay.
I could, but I'm not going to. No.
I also could, but.
But we're thinking positively, right? After yesterday.
Yes, I'm thinking positively also. Although there is a very depressing season, every day temperature getting getting fall.
Lower.
Today
Getting lower.
it's quite cold. Already it temperature below 0. So
Wow.
temperature, yes. So
That's cold. But then for Russia, that's not very cold yet, is it? It's going to
yes.
get much colder.
Yes, but in comparison with usual year, this year I think a little colder in this
All right.
season.
Well, I hope it doesn't get too cold too soon, Yuki.
Yeah, I also hope so.
Well, I'm hoping for warmer weather, but it's taking its time, I can tell you, because it's absolutely pouring with rain and having a thunderstorm today, so it's not summer yet. Nah.
It's dangerous, no?
It's not. I don't think it's really dangerous. It wasn't a very dramatic thunderstorm.
Hasn't it struck you?
No, thank goodness.
No.
Touch
That's
wood.
good. Congratulations.
Thank you. I don't think it was anything to do with me, though. All right, let's start our article today, guys. I think this is quite an interesting one. When I was researching for the class, I found this and I thought, oh, that's kind of cool, because I didn't know this kind of stuff. And obviously the brain is something that's kind of important to all of us, so I feel it will be relevant. So we're going to read this, Why We're More Creative When We're Tired, and 9 other surprising things about how brains work. So we're going to do what we usually do and take the time to read and also have a bit of a chat about what we read. Are we actually surprised by the things that are coming up in this article, or is there some very intelligent person who already knows all of this stuff? And what do we think of it? Maybe it will help us. I think sometimes, knowing how your brain works can actually help you, because you sort of know what's going on a little bit more. I'm just going to say hi to Kako. Hi, Kako.
Hi, Teacher Amy.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you again.
How's everything going?
Thank you. I'm doing well, thank you. And you?
Yep, I'm doing great, thank you, Kako. And we've just started to look at the article, so you can join us, and you haven't really missed anything yet. Okay, perfect. All right, so we're going to get started. Oh, did you not hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, great. I just said that you haven't missed out on anything yet because we've only just started.
Okay, I have the article.
Excellent. All right, so I'm going to get, just a second, guys. Hopefully you can all see this. If you want to load it up, it's in the chat box. But otherwise, just follow along on screen. And I'm going to ask, actually, let's start from the other end today. Yuki, you're up first, if you wouldn't mind.
It's a big honor to read firstly. Okay. Why we are more creative when we are tired, and 9 other surprising things about how brain work. You may be hardwired as an introvert or an extrovert, but don't worry. There are ways to change how our brains work.
Okay, thanks, Yuki. So what we'll do, guys, is read a little bit at a time, and if you have any questions about something, or you've forgotten what a word is, or you've never heard of a word before, then you'll have a chance to ask, and we'll help you out with that. And then we'll talk about each little thing that we read. So we've got the introduction. We're just going to carry on reading before we start talking about anything. So Yuki, one of the things.
Yes. Sorry. I couldn't follow your last point. Sorry.
I just would like you to. Could you continue reading, please, Yuki?
I'm sorry. Okay.
This part here, just because you only read a short little part.
I hear some noise, some echo from someone. Could you mute your microphone, classmates?
All right.
One of the things that surprises me time and time again is how we think our brains work and how they actually do. On many occasions, I found myself convinced that there is a certain way to do things, only to find out that actually that's the completely wrong way to think about it. For example, I always find it fairly understandable that we can multitask. Well, according to the latest research studies, it's literally impossible to our brains to handle two tasks at the same time.
Thank you, Yuki. Just don't forget it's literally impossible for our brains, not to, okay?
Sorry, 4.
Yeah. Okay, so who in this class thinks that they can multitask? And I must add that Yohani, it's just you and me. We're the only girls, right? So apparently girls are supposed to be better at multitasking. Can you multitask?
It's my dream to have a multitask. I'd like to be a computer. It would be effective. I would effectively work and study if I had multitask.
Okay,
function.
Yuki wishes he could multitask.
Yes.
Yohani, can you multitask, do you think? Would you say?
Yes, multitask is when the people has do a lot of things, a lot of in the same time. In the
Yeah,
same time.
exactly. At the same time, that's the key point, isn't it? What can you do, Yohani, at the same time? Are there certain activities that you can do?
At the same time, I'm in English class and with my telephone in WhatsApp.
Excellent. Yohani is multitasking as we speak, right, Yohani? Okay, are there any boys in here that claim that they can multitask pretty well? Yuki's admitted that he can't. Anybody else?
I play the drums, but I don't know if that counts. Because
You play the drums? Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Why do you think that counts? Explain.
Because I have to move my both arms and both legs at the same time, and obviously within a certain rhythm. But I don't know, because doing other things like easy things like driving and talking with someone is kind of difficult for me. Abby, are you there?
Oh, our teacher has gone, maybe.
Okay.
And I can hear you, okay? I did left the class.
Sorry, what did you say?
No,
Yeah.
and I'm here this time.
Yeah?
Okay.
I didn't left the class.
Who is gonna be the teacher? Who is gonna be the teacher now?
I vote for Yuki.
I wonder if Rafa asked our teacher for the date. No? Today? No.
There you go.
Yesterday. Date.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Anyone
Are you
else? Anyone else that multitask here in the group? Experience? I multitask now. I'm watching the game of Royals Kansas City versus San Francisco and studying English.
Oh, Alex, you are multitask person.
And also
I
I'm eating ice cream.
Yeah? You can eat ice cream with multitasking operation.
Multitasking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi guys, I'm sorry about that. I don't know what happened, but Google Chrome was having a bad moment.
Where were you?
I don't know. I thought I was there, but apparently not. Anyway, I'm sure you had a great discussion while I was gone, and now I'm going to carry on. So, we were talking about drumming, and I actually agree that drumming could be considered multitasking. Although, it says here it's impossible for our brains to handle 2 tasks at the same time. That can't be right, can it? Surely. How do you explain drumming, if that's true? I don't know. Perhaps it means 2 distinct tasks, like, I don't know, driving a car and running. Alright, we'll carry on reading and see what it has to say for itself. So, Raphael, could you continue, please, from recently? Are you there, Raphael?
Rafa,
He's gone.
are you awake?
He's fallen asleep. Alright, we'll skip Raphael. He's disappeared. He's gone to get a coffee, possibly. Oscar, would you be able to continue reading, please, from recently?
Okay. Recently, I came across more of these fascinating experiments and ideas that help a ton to adjust my workflow towards how our brain actually works instead of how I thought it does. So here are 10 of the most surprising things our brain does and what we can learn from this information.
Alright, so here we go. We're going to learn about our brains. This is exactly what they look like inside. Half of the people are working at offices and half are doing creative pursuits, apparently. Alright, so let's read number 1. Oscar, you can carry on for another paragraph if you would, please.
Your brain does creative work better when you're tired. When I explore the senses of our body clocks and how they affect our daily routines, I was interested to find that a lot of way I planned my days wasn't really the best way to go about it. The way the clock in particular actually has a lot of to with the cycles of our body clocks.
Great, thank you, Oscar. Beautiful reading. Johanni, could you read Here's How It Breaks Down?
Repeat, please.
Could you read for us, please, from Here's?
Here's how it breaks down. If you are morning larks, say you want to favor those morning hours. Those morning hours when you're feeling more fresh to get your most demanding analytical work done. Using your brain to solve problems, answer questions, and make decisions is the best done when you are at your peak. For night owls, this is obviously a much later period in the day.
Great, thank you, Johanni. This word here is, I know it's got an H, but it's actually pronounced hours with no H, hours.
Sorry, see, I know. Teacher, another.
Pardon?
I have a question.
Sure.
A peak is the point, high point.
Yep,
True?
the highest point.
The highest, okay. Okay.
Very good. Yep, that's correct.
For night owls, what is owl?
Good question. So have a look at here. We've got a morning lark, and here we've got a night owl. And those are phrases we use in English to describe different body clocks. So a lark and an owl are both types of bird, but larks wake up very early and owls wake up during the night. They're nocturnal. So if you describe yourself as a morning lark, it means that you're a person who likes getting up early. And if you're a night owl, then it means you like going to bed late.
Okay, thank you.
No worries. I think you guys might have similar or something like that in your own languages. I'm not sure. Okay, we're going to read a little bit more. So I'll get Raphael, who's now back, I believe. Could you read on the other hand, please, for us?
On the other hand, if you are trying to do creative work, you actually have more luck when you're more tired and your brain isn't functioning as efficiently. This sounds crazy, but it actually makes sense when you look at the reasoning behind it. It's one of the reasons why great ideas often happen in the shower after a long day of work.
Good. All right, Raphael, that was beautiful, thank you. Let's just talk about it for a bit, guys. We have a look at what we've got on the screen there. Okay, who in this class would say that they are, well, let's go through, and I want you guys to tell me, are you a night owl or are you a morning lark, would you say? So let's ask Alan.
Me, I would say I'm a morning lark.
Okay, do you like getting up early?
Yes, I feel like I can do more when I wake up early.
All right, and what about later on in the day? Do you get tired at any point or a bit kind of lethargic?
Yeah, that's a bad thing because I can work at night. I get tired and my brain's tired and I want to sleep.
Yeah. Alan, I am exactly the same as you. Let's ask Alejandro. Alejandro, are you a night owl or a morning lark?
I prefer to live at the night.
Okay, so you're a night owl. What time do you usually get out of bed, Alejandro?
What time?
Yeah.
I don't have a timetable.
Oh, you lucky thing. So you just get up when you're ready, but you do quite a lot of work in the evenings.
Yes.
All right. Kako, what about you?
I love the night to study, but I have to be awake early to work.
So
but I don't like to sleep early.
Okay, that sounds like you're one of these, Kako. You burn the candle at both ends.
I am kinda night owl.
You're a night owl who's forced to get up early, right?
Yeah.
Oh, poor Kako. All right. So some of us are morning larks and some of us are night owls. But what it does say, which I find really fascinating, is that if you want to do something creative, you actually can do it better when you're tired. So if you're feeling tired, stop trying to learn English and do something creative like art or music or thinking about some creative ideas in your life. It's something to think about. Let's read a tiny bit more. So Kako, can you read this one? If you're tired.
Okay, teacher. If you're tired, your brain is not as good as filtering out distractions and focusing on a particular task. It's also a lot less efficient at remembering connections between ideas or concepts. These are both good things when it comes to creative work, since this kind of work requires us to make new connections, be open to new ideas, and think in new ways. So, a tired, fuzzy brain is of much more use to us when working on creative projects.
Okay. Isn't that interesting? Did anybody already know this?
No, first time I know this theory. But it's very interesting.
Yeah, I agree, Yuki. Has anyone ever experienced like a sort of surge of creativity when they're feeling tired, or noticed that it comes to them when they are at a low point in the day, perhaps?
After
Yes.
Go ahead, please. Sorry.
No, go ahead, Yuki. Sometimes when I run, I'm really tired. I start thinking, I don't know, I think my brain is out of oxygen or something like that, and I start thinking different things lots of things come to my head, in my head. I don't know, it depends on I think my brain activity comes to a lower level or something, because I think my ideas start connecting more efficiently. Because when I don't know, when I'm full of energy, I have difficulties trying to organize my ideas, and when I'm tired, it's better.
Yeah, I think, Raphael, you're not the only one who's experienced that. Yuki, you were going to say something too, I think.
Yes. Once before, I had to create a good project for my work. I tried to work hard and think about it very seriously all the day, but I couldn't have an idea. But after the exhausted day, when I slept, maybe an idea appeared in my head, and at next morning I could have an idea. So it's a kind of things that when brain does creative work, when or after we have exhaust.
After we've exhausted it.
After we exhausted it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's true. Anyone else had an experience like that?
No.
No. All right, well, there you go.
Well, probably I'm not creative because I don't want to be tired. Because always we have to keep out the distractions. Always we want to have the brain in one task, not in a lot of tasks. But it is interesting, this article.
Yeah, absolutely. Johanni, it's interesting how you just mentioned distractions, because we're about to read about them. Johanni, would you like to just read this since you brought it up?
Yes. The Scientific American article explains how distractions can actually be a good thing for creative thinking. Inside problems involve thinking outside the box. This is where susceptibility to distraction can be of benefit. At off-peak times, we are less focused and may consider a broad range of information. This wider scope gives us access to more alternatives and diverse interpretations, thus fostering innovations and insight.
Excellent.
Sorry for my English.
No, don't be silly. I was just about to say that was really well read, because that was difficult with lots of tricky words. Does anyone want to ask about any of these words? Do we understand everything, guys? Okay, what I'm going to do, Alan, I'm going to ask you, could you just briefly explain, Alan, in your own words, what's this really saying, this little section here?
Yes, that when we want to be creative, Something that is beneficial is, for example, like being surrounded of distractions, or in an environment that's, like cafeteria where the people's moving, and so you can perhaps come up with a new idea. Perhaps something can inspire you.
Yeah.
To whatever you're doing.
Absolutely, that's a really nice explanation. So don't forget this, guys. Next time that you're stuck on a problem, maybe try like relaxing and actually distracting yourself for a bit. That might help solve the problem. Okay, let's go on to number 2. Alejandro.
Kevin, really? Sorry, what does thinking outside the box mean? I don't know.
Ah, good question. Does anyone know? Or can anyone guess?
Yes, when, for instance, if you have a problem that you want to solve, and you're thinking using perhaps all the information you have received, perhaps thinking outside the box, it would be like thinking of different stuff, so you can have a different point of view of the problem, and in that way you can solve it.
Good explanation, Alan. Does that make sense, Raphael, to you?
So is it the same as thinking in another perspective, or looking things in another perspective?
Yes, it is. Basically, the box, or sometimes we call it the square, is like sort of like the boundary, or the typical thought process that you usually have. And if you try to think outside of that, it means that you break down those barriers, this imaginary box or square, so that you can think of different ideas from a different perspective, basically, yeah.
So I think thinking outside the box means thinking originally.
Yeah, definitely. Something original.
Differ from standard.
Yeah, far from the standards, exactly. Anything like that.
I see.
Alejandro, you've just mentioned that you think creativity doesn't come from our brains. Can you explain that a bit?
Well, I think it comes from the heart, or the spirit. Spirit.
Yep.
It's my opinion.
Okay. That's a really great point, though. I love it. Yeah, and that would make sense, right? So maybe if your brain is tired, then it's not focused or not really thinking so much, then maybe it means that your heart or your spirit takes over for a bit and you come up with a good idea. Could be. All right, thanks, Alejandro. Could you read for us number 2?
Stress can change the size of your brain and make it smaller. I bet you didn't know stress is actually the most common cause of changes in brain function. I was surprised to learn this when I looked into how stress affects our brains. I also found some research that showed signs of brain size decreasing due to stress.
Keep going, Alejandro. You're reading really well.
Continue?
Yes, please.
One study used baby monkeys to test the effects of stress on development and long-term mental health. half the monkeys were cared for by their peers for 6 months, while the other half remained with their mothers. Afterwards, the monkeys were returned to typical social groups for several months before the researchers scanned their brains.
Great, Alejandro. Beautiful. Thank you. Alan, could you continue reading For the Monkeys?
For the monkeys who had been removed from their mothers and cared for by their peers, areas of their brains related to stress were still enlarged. Even after being in normal social conditions for several months, although more studies are needed to explore this fully, it's pretty scary to think that prolonged stress could affect our brains long term.
Keep going.
Okay. Another study found that in rats who were exposed to chronic stress, the hippocampuses in their brains actually shrank. The hippocampus is integral to forming memories. It has been debated before whether post-traumatic stress disorder can actually shrink the hippocampus, or people with natural smaller hippocampuses are just more prone to PTSD. This study could point to the stress being a factor in actually changing the brain.
Great. Well done. Beautiful reading. Okay, let's talk about this for a second, guys. What's your initial reaction of the fact that apparently stress can change the size of your brain? Kako, tell us. What do you think? No? Maybe he's gone to get a coffee, or maybe his brain has frozen with stress from being asked a question.
Hi, teacher.
Hi, Kako. Were you listening
Teacher.
to us? Yeah?
Yeah, teacher. It's universally accepted that stress diminishes our mental capacity to solve problems. But sounds new. But it sounds new for me. This explanation, this scientific explanation, how stress can alterate can change our brains, making smaller our brains. Maybe because most part of the brain is involved in the problems caused by the stress, and then it is not able to think much about the problems to be solved. It is not so able as necessary to create new solutions. But sounds very, very interesting, this experiment made with monkeys. How the way they were raised affects their mental capacities. Very interesting.
That's absolutely right, Kako. Sorry, I just read what Yuki said on the chat box. Okay, I agree with this point, and I agree exactly, Kako, is what you just said is really interesting, the fact that monkeys were stressed and their brains got smaller. But what I think that it also does show you is that actually we have the power to affect our brains, right? It's not just that we have the power to make them smaller, but I think we also have the power to make it more elastic. We have the power to learn more things, to reduce our stress. So it's sort of not so much depressing that the fact that we get stressed and our brains shrink. It's more this is what I'm desperately trying to come up with, guys. It's more that you're in control of your brain, right? You're able to change it. So it's not some stuck thing that you almost okay, I've got to stop looking at the chat box now because you guys are making me laugh. Okay. Anyone want to comment further on that point, that your brains are all shrinking? No? I'm not going to ask you any more questions for the rest of the class because I don't want your brains to die out. Okay, take a look at that picture. It's a little bit depressing. I think we should move on to number 3. Let's read this one. Yuki, you're up.
Okay. I'm sorry. Number 3. It is likely impossible for our brain to multitask. Really? Multitasking with something we've long been encouraged to practice, but it turns out multitasking is actually impossible. When we think we are multitasking, we are actually content switching. We are actually context switching. That is, we are quickly switching back and forth between different tasks, rather than doing them at the same time. The book Brain Rules explain how detrimental multitasking can be. Research shows your error rate goes up 50%, and it takes you twice as long to do things.
Okay. Just a sec, Yuki. I'll get Raphael to read a little bit more. The problem, Raphael?
The problem with multitasking is that we're splitting our brain's resources. We are giving less attention to each task and probably performing worse on all of them. When the brain tries to do 2 things at once, it divides and conquers, dedicating 1/2 of our brain matter to each task.
Okay, thanks, Raphael. Thanks, Yuki. You guys' reading is awesome today. Now, if there's anything left of your brains, what I would like to ask you is, what do you think about this multitasking thing? Does this sound like it makes sense to you?
It means what maybe Johanny said is true. It is impossible to really multitask. Really think things with multitasking. Our brain, like a computer, works one by one, continuously, not seamlessly. So it seems works seamlessly, but in reality it is not.
Yeah, simultaneously.
Simultaneously.
Yeah.
Sorry.
A bit of a difficult word, but don't worry. Your brain's probably shrunk and you can't say that word now because your brain is too small, right? No, I'm only kidding. Yeah, that's absolutely true, Yuki, what you just said. So it seems as if we're multitasking, but actually we're not. We're context switching. Yohani, does this sound like it's true to you?
Context switching.
Yeah.
Is when you are in time, in a lot periods of times, switching about activities.
Yes.
For example, now I'm studying English and in the telephone with WhatsApp, but it is true that I don't in the same time in the telephone and in the computer. No, when I in the telephone, I look the message and then I go back to the computer.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's very fast, and the person think, oh, I am multitask, but no, it's true.
Yeah, I think to me this makes perfect sense. And this thing which says, you know, your error rate goes up 50% and it takes you twice as long to do things. This just rings so true with me, because if I try to do two things at once, I end up doing them both wrong. This always happens. I really like what Alejandro's just said, though. Alejandro, can you explain that to us a bit? You've said the subconscious mind can...
I have read that subconscious mind can do many things at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
But the conscious mind don't have that ability.
Doesn't have, yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. That's very true. I think we have to be clear about that, because if you think about it, your subconscious mind, or whatever it is working all sorts of things in your body, right? Your heart's pumping, you're breathing, I don't know, your stomach's converting things into different things. But it's our thinking mind that we're kind of talking about when we're talking about multitasking. Who was it who mentioned the drums? I can't remember who that was at the beginning of class. Does anyone remember?
It was me.
It was you, Alan. Okay, so when we talk about this concept of multitasking, what do you think now we've read this about playing the drums?
I agree. Because how can I explain this? I'm gonna try to explain, but I hope you understand me.
Okay, I'm sure we will.
When you're learning to play the drums, typically you count and hit 4 times with one hand.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas with the other hand you hit perhaps in the number 2 and 4.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you can hit, you can do these moves separately.
Mm-hmm.
With one hand hitting 4 times, and with the other hand just 2 times.
Okay.
But when you play them together, what you're doing is that you are actually creating a new set of hits, or yes, so you are hitting the drums, not like the first or the second note, but both combined, and so you have to get used to mix this kind of moves, but in fact you're not doing multitasking. You are just playing them together.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you've really explained that well. So it's actually not multitasking, because your brain is focused on one activity, playing the drums, right? It just has to move different parts of your body at different times, which is the tricky thing. But it's not like you having to play the drums and I don't know, talk to your mum on the phone or something, right? But she probably wouldn't like. She'd be like, "What's that noise?" Alright, so guys, we've had a very interesting class. I'm hoping that you're not all going to go away from this class worried about your brains shrinking. But do feel free to read the rest of this if you have time. and you're not too tired. Because it's really interesting, this article, and it's quite scientific. It has lots of diagrams and stuff to help you learn. There's also some stuff about learning, which comes further down in the article. So if you are interested, carry on reading, and if you have any questions, do leave me a message on Facebook and I'll get back to you about it. But thank you all for your participation and your comments, despite the fact they slightly distracted me today. It was great to have you all in the class. Take care.
We were just testing our multitasking, teacher.
Yeah, and I failed, right? Because I was just giggling too much. Okay. Take care, everybody. Have a great evening, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.
Bye. Thank
Bye.
you, teacher. Bye.